Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome
To celebrate.
to Celebrate
Halloween.
Welcome to Celebrate Story.
with my mom.
My mom.
It's my mom. With my mom.
With my wife.
Joy Rano.
Julie Wagner. Julie Wagner.
Julie Wagner.
All right, try number 2.
Yes.
I have it recording correctly now, I think. I didn't tell you yesterday when I recorded the intro, I didn't even have my microphone selected for the first one, so it just was the laptop microphone that picked it up, and it sounded horrible when I tried to play it back. So, it happens. We're still learning.
Yes, so much to learn and so much to celebrate that we're learning. I wish we could have the rights to the Boyz II Men song. You know, Boyz II Men, It's So Hard to Say Goodbye. You know that song?
No.
You don't know that song?
Sing it for me.
Where were you in 1996?
Alanis Morissette concert?
We went to very different concerts our senior year. Okay, well, I can't sing it for you because I'm not that. I remember a feeling to a song. I don't remember the actual lyrics and melody. You know how I am. I just make up my own words when I sing along. But anyways, it's so hard to say goodbye. So it is bittersweet here. This is a wrap-up episode for the end of Celebrate Story podcast season 1. It has been so much fun. We did, let's see, how many episodes, Steve? 14? Or is this number 15? This is 15. Is that right?
Yes.
This will be 15. I am just so proud of us. I'm proud of us for making this space to play and create and storytell and share and learn new skills about microphones and recording. And it's just been such a fun place to record about topics and stories that matter to us. And, you know, I did not have any like number goals in my head when we went into this. That wasn't the goal. It really was more a place to give birth to stories and to give birth to ideas, because I love to share stories and ideas. And I wanted a place to put them, and a place that was easy. And this has been so easy. It's literally like in our home, in our bedroom. We have our little podcast studio. So it is absolutely accomplished that goal. But if I would have guessed, I kind of wish I would have guessed before we did 15 episodes, because then I would have something to compare it to. But it really does blow my mind that we've had in our 15 episodes in our little podcast, we've had over 2,000 downloads. Like that's so exciting to me. 2,000 hearts and minds hearing what we have to say, which is just so much fun, hearing our stories. And it's fun how it amps up conversations. Like someone I might not see a whole bunch if I run into them, all of a sudden I've already been able to give them like all these stories, and we're able to start at like step 54 rather than step 1. But yeah, what is the exact total of downloads?
2,454.
Oh, so as long as we don't totally bomb this, we'll go over 2,500.
Correct.
That is so exciting. That is so fun. So I just want to talk about like my favorite moments from the season and my favorite takeaways from the season. And we would love to hear from you about your favorite moments and your favorite takeaways from this season, because that means so much to us. I mean, that makes this a reciprocal conversation. And so Steve keeps whispering something to me, and I
didn't want to
know what it is, but I couldn't hear what you were saying. I was trying
Social media.
Oh, yes.
That's where.
Oh, yes. Okay. So my producer, who's also my husband, has told me to encourage you to share that on social media. So I'll start a post on that.
Share feedback.
Share feedback. Okay. I will do that yes. Okay. So let's start. My favorite takeaways. I did a little bit of it already, but I think my absolute favorite episodes, hands down, were the ones that were a conversation. Like, I absolutely loved having Jessica in here and hearing her gifted music. I mean, we have used that again and again because it's so beautiful and it never gets old to me. And I love the conversations we had with her. I love the conversations with Kim and Melanie and Bethany and Lori and Corey. And I want to have so many more. And my husband's looking at me. It feels like I did it out of order. Do you feel as a 9 that your presence doesn't matter, that I didn't mention your name first? Is this like an Enneagram trigger right now?
A little bit.
A little bit? Of course. I mean, for the record, let the record stand to all of our podcast friends and family, that it got to the point, like that first episode I did on identity controls behavior. I love doing that one. The thing with that one is I had a lot of time to prepare it. And I talked with Steve for weeks about it and then was able to just execute it. And then it got to the point where the other ones, with just the time crunch of our life, and like we can't give 9 hours a day to a podcast once a week. You know, we have like a couple hours a week that we carved out for this, that it's like, okay, this is all we have. And when you have less time, you almost, for me, it kind of reminds me of the quote. I don't remember where it's from, but it's like, if you have to talk for a short amount of time, you need more time to prepare. And so it got to the point where I could not do this without Steve. I was like, you must sit at the table with me. It's like I needed his energy, his support, because I really, really, really wanted to do it. But I absolutely needed someone to sit there with me. And so, of course, this podcast would not happen if, 1, you didn't hold my hand while we sat at the table. And 2, you didn't edit it and upload it to all the things and then pull things out of me, ask questions, like all the things. So have I recovered?
Yes. Now I'm embarrassed.
Now you're embarrassed? Don't be embarrassed. It has been invaluable to me. So, but what I'm excited about for season 2 is that I'm going to take a break from Celebrate Story season 1, and then I'm going to plan through, and I'm really excited about what that will bring, because I'm dreaming of, I've already got almost 2 interviews lined up from 2 different books I've read with the authors. So I'm thrilled about that. I want to cover church conversations and Enneagram conversations and education conversations. Those are going to be the 3 main themes around season 2 in Celebrate Story. But before we get to that, because there's also some big news I have at the end of this episode. Before I get to that, I want to know from you, Steve, what your favorite parts of season 1, when you just think back and you're like, oh yeah, I'm so proud of that, or I'm so proud of this, or this works so great, or like what sticks out to you even?
I think it's just figuring it out. It was interesting to go in because we had an idea of what it was going to be. And I know the first episode you talked a lot and we cut in and out, and I don't know, we just, as it went on, we got into a flow where, 1, it got easier to produce. But I think adding in extra voices and having conversations, and it's just getting the diversity of the voices that we've heard this year.
I liked that
It's been fun just trying new things out.
Yes, a place that's ours to play. Like, so much of our life is all for our kids all the time. Our kids are living their very best lives. And it's so hard to prioritize our things and our fun spaces and projects. It's easy for us to just kind of like set that aside. Although you prioritized it with flag football. Yeah. Oh man, y'all. Steve has some news, and we've already told his parents, because the last time he had an injury, the news of his broken ankle came over the podcast. And so we called his parents. All the proper people have been informed. Steve was playing flag football and went up for the catch of a lifetime. Why are you laughing?
It's funny because we were down by like 20 points and ended up losing by 20 points. So.
Oh, down by 20, ended up losing by 20. So it was
a pivotal catch.
It was a pivotal catch in their already down score. Well, he went up for the what I'm particularly proud of is that you caught the ball.
One-handed catch.
While
my bicep was exploding inside of my arm. So, yes, detached bicep, which is... requires surgery to fix, which is tomorrow, and
Yes. So Steve has
6
surgery.
month recovery and all that good stuff. So
Yeah. So Steve has surgery tomorrow, 6 months recovery. So if anybody has an extra arm, we need one extra arm at the Wagner house. That has sounded so weird. Sometimes I say things with such passion and then I'm like, what did I just say? Yeah, but we could use one extra arm. Anyways, life happens. So
especially when you're over 40, evidently.
Yes, because isn't the risk factor is being male and
Over 30. Yeah.
over 30 and being a male. I was relieved at my femininity because I literally the next morning I went and I've been meaning to put strength training in my rotation of working out because I've slipped away from that. And the next morning I went down and got hand weights and was like working on bicep muscle exercise. Not that it goes back to the influence versus control episode. It's like, okay, I know I can't control everything, but I can actually just do this. And then one of my teenagers was like, that's not going to help, Mom. It's like, okay. It actually just helps me to feel like I'm strengthening my body. It's just silly, I know. Okay. So any other things? We talked about the diversity of voices that we loved. We talked about, yes, I absolutely loved having Kim, you, Melanie. We need more male voice. I realized that I had an imbalance of female voices. So,
Well, I'm going to answer that.
How are you going to answer that?
I'm starting my own podcast.
Yes. Yes.
I figure that's been too much female input
Coming
out of this room. So,
out of this room.
yeah,
You
we need to balance it out.
You want to take the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Little practice some headship.
No, you did not say that. That is not what we're doing here, y'all. That is not what's happening. He is sarcasm 101. So I am actually so thrilled, all sarcasm and all jokes aside, so thrilled. Steve's going to launch his introduction today. I believe, is it today that it goes out?
Yeah, it's out there live on, it's being populated to the places now, but
Okay.
it's live on Apple and just haven't advertised it yet.
Yeah, so he has a 1-minute introduction, and we're going to add it to the end of this episode. So you can just hear it right here and then hop right over to his Celebrate the Gray, which is a brand of Celebrate story. And like and subscribe that so you don't want to miss it, because I am so excited because I've said it before and I'll say it again that Steve listens far more for a lifetime than he talks. And he has so much to offer, and he has an artful way of seeing every single side of an issue. And I'm really grateful. Like, I'm grateful that this is going to be a place you're going to record some of these thoughts and give me a chance to listen to them, and everyone else that would want to listen to them, which I think so many people will. And it will be so fun to have that for our kids as they grow older too. I know that will grow in value to them as they grow older, but I'm thrilled about that. So that will add to the end of the episode. And then the last thing we want to invite you to before we wrap up is I have been working on my talk I get to speak for 20 minutes and Storytell live for 20 minutes at Huntersville United Methodist Church this coming Tuesday, March 15th. I believe it's at 7 p.m. Is that right? Yep, 7 p.m. Huntersville United Methodist Church. It's a ministry called ICU Talks, which is, I applied to speak. They opened up speaker applications. I think it was last fall. And so I applied and I was selected. So I am super excited and super scared because there's a certain comfort with telling stories behind a microphone. And yet on the flip side, there's a certain, behind the microphone in my bedroom in the safety of my home with my husband sitting right here. And there's a whole nother level to not being able to edit, not being able to stop and say, oh, cut that out. Oh, wait, let me retry that. But it will be fun because I truly do get energy from sharing something live. There's something unmistakably electric about sharing something live and in person versus, which I absolutely love this format too. I'm not like downing this format. They're both so valuable to me. But so I'm thrilled. So if you're interested in something like that, it's an hour night and all the stories are meant to be stories of real life and real life struggles and struggles with faith and mental health and hope. The ICU stands for In Christ Unity. And the whole theme and kind of the feel I've gotten for every ICU talks that I go to, it's a place to be okay not being okay. So I really appreciate a space for that because I'm starving for it. So join me if that so suits you.
And if you can't make it in person, we'll be pulling the audio from Julie's talk and posting it as a podcast episode here in a couple weeks when it's available. They also post all their talks on YouTube, so we'll link to that.
Yes. So yeah, if you can't make it, you can hear it from here because that'll be just like a bonus to the end of season 1.
But it is a good in-person event because there's 2 other speakers and then they do some worship. And so it's a good event. We've been going for about 6 months now. Something like that. Yeah.
Yes. So, and hopefully all goes well with your surgery. So you will be able to go. Otherwise, there'll be another ticket freed up because I know they do still limit tickets to take the most responsibility we can to make it a safe in-person gathering. So I know there's a limited number of tickets. So if Steve is not fully recovered, then
I'll be there.
You always are. Okay. That makes me, when I think of you saying I'll be there, it reminds me of in college when this is what's funny. This is so embarrassing. It's funny yeah, it's funny what's a crisis when you're 9 or 21 is very different when you get older. Yeah, go ahead and tell the story.
So Julie she lived in Yorktown, Virginia, down near Newport News, Williamsburg area. And I was up in Baltimore. I guess it was the summer or it was a break or
summer break.
And she called and was upset about a haircut she
got. Yes, a haircut.
What was wrong with it?
I don't know.
Yeah, anyway. So as the dutiful boyfriend who, at that point, I couldn't even see it because we didn't have text.
Oh, yeah. There was no sending a picture of your hair.
This was pre-text. So I hopped in the car and drove down and met her. I was sitting on her front porch.
With my dad.
Yeah, when she came home from somewhere. So.
Yep, because I still remember what you told my dad that you wanted to start a business because I remember my dad was like, I got to know Steve. It was so fun.
Yeah, I'll be talking about that.
And yeah, you'll be talking about
Celebrate the Gray.
Celebrate the Gray and the business that you started in your sign business. Okay. Well, I think that is nearing the end of our wrap-up episode. So we cannot wait to hear from you through social media of what your favorite highlights were from the season or share them with a friend. And we have so valued your listening because certainly it meets a need just to say it, just to put it out there. But obviously it's reciprocal here. Like we don't have a podcast without you listening. So thank you again so much for listening. So that's a wrap for Celebrate Story Season 1. And I'll see you later this spring. Or wait, I won't see you. I'll hear you.
You'll hear me.
You'll hear me. You'll hear me. You'll hear me later this spring. And I can't wait to bring to you all that I've been working on.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm going to tell you some of the things I'm not. I'm not an expert in philosophy, entrepreneurship, relationships, political science, theology, parenting. I have no advanced degrees. I don't have any scholarly writings. There's plenty of people available out there with books, podcasts, YouTube videos, etc. that do. I'll tell you what I am, though. I'm hungry for people that are okay admitting publicly that they don't know, that they're not sure. I believe in an ultimate truth, but I have a hypothesis. Knowledge of that truth in this life is elusive. That life, as much as we would like it to be, is not black and white. Over the next 8 weeks or so, I'm going to explore some of the major topics that I was black and white on. And now I'm not so sure. That now I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm somewhere in the gray. Coming March 22nd, Celebrate the Gray podcast with Steve Wagner. Available anywhere where you get your podcasts.